to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are going to be doing a guide video on Warlord. He's a legendary support champion from the Orcs faction. He's a great champion. His damage is based on attack, but chances are you're not going to be building for attack. At least I'd certainly advise you don't. He is a godlike support in this game, absolutely amazing. If you pulled him, he is a complete game changer, and I love him, and I'm sure you'll absolutely love him too. So, right, let's get on with it. So, I usually do the skills first, but I'm going to go through the gear this time because I've had some feedback, and people are saying that they'd really like to see gear that's attainable, not 6-star pieces and all the rest of it. So, if you look here, I've got him in a shield set because one of his main abilities gives a shield based on his HP. So rather than building him for attack, you're going to build him for a HP. So with that in mind, it makes sense to also then put him in a shield set and get the extra shield at the start of each round in dungeons, at the start of each fight in arena. It's a big help. So anyway, you will notice I have got 2 6-star pieces. I apologise for that. I've already removed a couple of 6-star pieces off of him to try and get him down a bit, but if I took these 2 pieces off, I'd just lose too much out of it. Now, it's not that they're great pieces, because they're not, as you'll see in a second. Well, no, actually, we'll cover these first, actually, then, since we're all talking about them anyway. So, this is 60% HP, which is great, but if it was a 5-star, it'd be 50%, so it's not a huge difference. And being a rare, it's only got 2 rolls. But here's the reason I like it, and the reason I can't afford to get rid of it, is it's got a double roll in speed on a speed set. The same is true for the gloves, with a double roll in speed on a speed set. That is the only reason I'm still wearing those pieces, and they don't make that much of a difference because I've got mainly crappy rolls, as you can see. Well, obviously on the rare you only get 2 rolls. On the epic, alright, I've got 1 roll in defense. It's not terrible, it's not bad. The extra 20% HP I'm getting helps a bit, but it's not, again, it's not massive. It's not as big as you think. And anyway, to somewhat mitigate this, what I've done is I did have a 6-star necklace on him, and I've swapped that out for a 4-star. And I've also got a 4-star banner, both of which are HP. So what HP he's gaining there, he's losing somewhat here. Not entirely, I know. I do know that these are flat stats, these are percentages, but it's as close as I could get. But it gives you an idea, and it shows you how it can still be used, even with health at that level and the way you can get it built. So anyway, what we've gone for is an accuracy banner due to the fact that you want him landing his abilities. So you want to be concentrating on speed, making him tanky, certainly lots of HP and lots of accuracy. If you can get lots of resisting too, great, crack on. But I'd say primarily you want accuracy, then you want his HP up, and everything else is, and then you want his speed up, and everything else is kind of secondary after that. Possibly you might even prefer his speed over his HP, or at least balance the 2. Anyway, I mean, as you can see, this isn't a brilliant piece. It's not too bad. It's got 1, again, it's a rare, it's blue. It's only got 1 roll in HP percentage, which is good. It's got a roll in defense. I would have preferred a roll in, oh, well, not a roll because I don't have it, but a substat in speed here. That would have been much better. Similar on the necklace, we've gone for HP. It's got some crit damage, but again, that doesn't actually do anything for him. He's not a damage dealing character, certainly not on my account. So all I've got here that's any use is the accuracy. I've rolled it up to 16, and weirdly enough, I did find out that by doing so, at 16, this actually has more HP than the 6-star he was wearing at 12. So it just goes to show you that, I mean, I was using that already at 12 as it was. I hadn't rolled it up to 16 yet, and that's where I was using it. And he's actually gained HP by me putting this one on him, to be fair. So, it just goes to show you that even rolling 4-star gear, if you roll it high enough, can really help. And it also helps if you get really good substat rolls, which obviously I haven't on this gear, but again, we've gone for a HP ring with a HP substat, and we've managed to get a roll in that, and unnecessarily roll in attack, although that is what his damage actually scales off of, so not entirely wasted. And then 1 roll in defense. We've gone for standard speed boots, and then the rest of his gear is predicated on speed, accuracy, and HP and defense, and that's basically how I've got him geared. So we'll have a quick look at his stats. We've got him up to 74,000 health, which isn't too bad. It'd be nice to get him higher, but his attack, again, his base attack is low. He's not a damage dealing character, but obviously you want a bit of damage off him, and certainly if you've got a choice between a stat that you feel is not going to do any good for you and like crit damage or something like that, which on him really doesn't make much difference, then maybe boosting your attack might help. Certainly speed, I've got his at 203. I would like it a bit higher. In fact, to be fair, before I swapped out his 6-star shield, which had speed on it, he actually was about 10 higher, but you know, I did want to showcase him at a more attainable level, so that's what I've done. Debuff resistance is at 73. I'd much rather that to be higher, but it's a trade-off. I've got the accuracy up to 335. Again, I would like that even higher still, but it's just building him over time, and we will get there. So anyway, let's take a look at his skills. And what we've got is Bludgeon is A1, attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. This takes 4 books and can increase the buff chance by 15, taking it up to 40. So, you know, it's not bad. It's a nice ability. It's a nice A1. When it procs, it's not as reliable as Septimus's or Vizier's, but it still makes him useful in the clan boss if you don't have either of those champs to extend debuffs. So, you know, it is still a good ability and still makes him viable there. Anyway, so his A2, Protection of the Gods, is a brilliant ability. Places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 1 turn, then places a shield buff on all allies for equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. Heals all allies by 25% of their max HP. So this is why you build him with high HP, because it gives you that big chunky shield. And then obviously the heal isn't affected by that, but you know, and again, you can book this, get it down from 4 to 3 cooldowns, so that's great. There's a slight mess up with his AI on this one. If most people want him using his A3 first in the arena, he will use this if nobody else has block debuffs up. Apparently there's a way around that, which is either obviously have somebody else like Mausoleum Mage going faster who puts it up first, in which case he won't, or if you've got a couple of people in immunity sets, apparently that can stop him from using it. I mean, for me, I don't tend to do arena fights on auto, obviously, except for when I'm being fought. I tend to manual, so you know, it's going to count for your defense and how you want it used, but again, it depends on your team and everything. So his A3, Orcish Rituals, attacks all enemies, has 70% chance of putting each target skills on cooldown, has a 30% chance to fully deplete each target's turn meter. Now, this does take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. However, every book is useful on this ability, and he's certainly worth booking. If you pull him, I'd say he's one of those champions that he's brilliant everywhere, so he's well worth throwing all your books into and building up. His buff chance obviously increases by 30%, taking you up to 100% chance to put the skills on cooldown. Obviously, there's still then going to be an accuracy check, hence why you want high accuracy on him. He has a 30% chance to fully deplete 10 meter of standard. You take that up to 60, so, you know, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This is what a lot of people like to open with in the arena. It depends on the team you're running. I'm running Hegemon, who can lock people out first anyway, at which point I'd rather he uses this. So I'm actually perfectly happy leaving things as are and not messing around putting people in immunity sets to try and get him to use this first. And I mean, you know, I still win a lot of my defences, certainly about 50% of them, sometimes more, and I'm in goal 4, you know, but either way, you've got the information. You can use him how you want based on the team you're using him in. He's also got an aura, which is quite nice, increases ally resist in all battles by 80. So he is actually my lead in my team and gives that 80% 80 resist. Again, like I say, I would like to get his resist up, and there are certainly substats in the gear I've got that I'd quite happily trade out for resist. It's just having the gear again. So let's take a look at his masteries. I've gone primarily for the support tree, because again, I'm trying to get as much accuracy on this guy as possible so that he lands all his debuffs and everything. So you've got accuracy into more accuracy. A buff to shields, a chance to increase turn meter when buffs fall off, a chance to, like 5% chance to get one of your cooldowns refreshed, so you get your abilities back quicker. I've gone for Law of Steel to boost the speed set that I've got him in. Lasting Gifts to make his shields and block debuffs last longer. So I've taken Sniper, but that is purely just to get me down to Eagle Eye, so that I get the 50% extra accuracy. And then I've gone Defensive straight down, just to boost his defense and keep him in the fight basically. So we've gone for Resistance, receives less damage when hit with a critical hit, has 30% chance of placing block debuffs if he has Fear, Sleep, Freeze, all that stuff falling off him, which using the arena he may do. Then you've got increases resist, and then a chance to counter attack when enemies apply Stun, Sleep, Fear, True Fear, or Freeze debuffs to an ally. So that's his Masteries in a nutshell. So we're going to take him into a dungeon run. We'll put him in Dragons 20. He can be used just about anywhere, to be honest. Obviously, in the Fire Knights, he's actually got an ability that is going to deplete turn meter. So if you need somebody to carry you through there, he's got that ability that will aid at that point. Obviously, it's on a longer cooldown. It's going to help, but not massively. But his main utility is going to be keeping your people alive more than anything else. So let's put him in the fight and we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to start this fight up. We'll show you part of the first round. I'm not going to bother showing it all the way through because it'll make this video too long. So a little bit of the fight at the beginning, and then we're going to cut to the end and show you what we came in at. As far as I'm aware, this team's pretty much 100% win rate. Even with him in it, I usually run Sil of the Drakes, but again, he's a brilliant carry. It's just slightly slower with him over Sil because Sil's doing a bit more damage and also has the stun to her kit, which he doesn't. But you see that he increased the buff duration there, so that's great. So you got decreased defense up for even longer, although the guy's dead 2 seconds later, so kind of pick one target, but you know, it's what it is. For me, his main utility is I use him in the arena. I could use him here as I'm showing. He'll do any of the dungeons really, as far as I'm aware, without any problem. You can be using spiders, you can be used in Fire Knight, Ice Golems, you name it, he can be used there. I mean, the great thing is he's void, so you know there's no weak hits, there's no issues with that affinity loss. So you know he's useful in all those. He's going to be useful in all the keeps. Some more than others, but again, as a carry, he's just going to literally take you through absolutely anything you've got. So anyway, here we are, minute 28, minute 30 in through the first wave, and we're going to cut it there, and we'll come back at the end of the video, at the end of the fight. Okay, and we're back. So we've come in at 4 minutes 27, not too bad. Bearing in mind my fastest run time is 3 minutes 26. I think my average tends to be between sort of 3:40 to 4 minutes more often than not. So putting him in instead of Sil really only sort of slowed it down by about 30 seconds, maybe not even that necessarily. As you can see, it was a nice easy success. We'll get rid of that. And right, so, but as you can see, absolutely brilliant, no issues at all. Most of this team's fairly accessible other than him. You know, you've got a couple of rare epics and a couple of rares. So, right, let's move on and showcase him in the main place that I think he's most suited for, the arena. Alright, let's do a refresh page because I've already done most of that one. Okay. Now, I might be able to do this, although I tend to find that martial art tends to be a right pain in the arse. You couple him with Quisk, even if I can beat it, it's going to be a very long, slow fight. So here we've got the slight problem that Madame Ceres can try and strip our buffs, but I'm going to show you how Warlord can help with that if Hegemon doesn't first. This team's around and even parring with my power. Not that that's always an indicator of anything. So we start off with Hegemon, and he tries to lock everybody out. Now, as you can see, this is a bit RNG. Sometimes you manage it and it will block out all four, other times it won't. It could even be based on whether or not they resisted or whatever. So now this is where Warlord comes in. If I'd locked them all out, I'd be going for his shield ability and put up block buffs. Since I've only got one person locked out, I'm going to go for his A3, decrease their cooldown, put their cooldowns on, and try and deplete turn meter. And then we come in without shield and counter attack. Now my team synergises quite well for keeping people from having goes, because I've got Hegemon who locks people out, and I've got him in a stun set so that he's got a chance to stun as well. I've got Warlord with again a chance to reset their cooldowns or put all their abilities on cooldowns. And then I've also got Sinesha, who on a 2 also can single target and take down cooldowns. So really a nice synergistic team for just keeping people only able to use their A1. Doesn't always work, and I certainly don't always win. But hey, that's the arena, you know. If we won all the time, wouldn't be fun, would it? So as you see, because we've kept it locked out, I've kept that shield up the whole time. I've kept my shields up. I've kept my counter-attack up. She's not managed to strip me, which is what she'd normally do. But obviously on this team she can't. Wasn't really much need for that, but I think we'd do it that way. So we'll do one more fight, just to give you a better idea of what it is they do. So this team's a bit stronger, like say 30k higher in player power. More defensive team. And again we go in with Hegemon for his first lockout. Now as you see, this time we've managed to lock out 3 of them. So because I've locked out 3 of them, and the one who isn't locked out as a low turn meter and isn't that big a threat damage dealing wise, I'm actually going to go and put the block buffs up so we can't be debuffed. Alright, we get a slightly bigger shield than I already had from the shield set, which also means when they come at us we're not going to take as much damage. But for me, because I've already got those shields and because Valk's already putting up big shields for her counter attack, the only reason I'm doing that is mainly for the block debuffs. No. Let's try and do a hit here. Probably should try and increase some of those actually, to be fair, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. Again, because it's a more defensive team, this is going to take a bit longer to chip away at them. And it's by no means an automatic win either. So we're going to use this time because a couple of them have fallen off. She's only got 1 left on hers, and it will probably kill Apothecary, so he's down. Now with the cooldowns up again, we're going to try and work on Cell of the Drakes. We'll put our block debuffs up again. Get our counter attack up again. As you can see, this is not going to be a quick fight. It's not a quick fight team. I mean, it's not always the longest. Depends on the team they're facing. Go for the lockouts again. But this team is predicated on the fact that although I might go first with Hegemon, everyone else is likely to go second. If they don't, great. But if they do, I've still got a good chance because I've got the shield set there, allowing them to take the hits and stay in the fight. and then, you know, they just keep chipping away at people like this, keeping cooldowns down, keeping people doing their A1s, not healing. And that's how we win the fight with him. My original plan when I first started building him up was I was going to take Valkyrie out and just replace him, and I sort of have in one of my 3v3 tags. It means I've now got Valkyrie on one team and him on another, making both teams stronger. But I actually quite like the synergy of having them together, although the double shields is a little bit redundant. It does mean that in scenarios where, say, you saved his shield, Madame Seraph manages to strip yours, he can come along and put it up, or vice versa. Also, she brings the counter attack, and she's a strong defensive champion, which really works for the synergy for this team. Anyway, so that's Warlord. He's an absolutely brilliant champion. Again, I say this on most of these videos I do a guide on, but you know, I'm only doing guides on champions I think are actually worth your time. He is a brilliant champion. He's actually one of the most brilliant champions, so I will not sugarcoat that. If you pulled him, congratulations. Don't sit on him, build him up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you were happy with the gear choices I made, showcasing what you can do a little bit less geared. And if you like the video, give it a like, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.